Solana is in a free fall right now and absolutely crashing. Plus, the market sentiment on Solana hasn't been this bad in what feels like years. We're going to talk about that in this video. We're going to go through some reasons why I might be talking about this. And at the end, we're going to finish with some economic data that I think is really going to influence this week in crypto. We're going to unpack it all. But before we get started, welcome back to the channel. My name's Doc. Throughout the day, I'm a resident physician, and at night, I take you guys on my crypto and investing journey. Sentiment feels like it is at an all-time low for Solana right now. It feels like just a couple weeks ago, we were at 260, 270, and we were looking to make new all-time highs on Sol. That has not been the case over the past few weeks, as Solana really has just been dipping down. If we look at the 30-day chart, if we can actually scroll in right here, it's down 36% over the last 30 days. And yes, I do understand that a lot of crypto has been falling over the past couple weeks, but Solana really feels like it's been taking the brunt of that fall. Here we're looking at Solana on the day chart, and ironically, I made this channel several weeks ago. We were kind of bouncing back and forth into this channel, and on January 25th, we actually broke through the channel, and that was like pretty bullish, right? Here, TradingView is showing we got all the way up to like 290, 295, and wow, talk about just a total opposite end of the spectrum. It was in some ways kind of euphoric, right? Everyone was thinking, hey, this is going to crack 300. If you were on Twitter at that time, people were saying, 4, 5, 600. A couple people were saying like 1,000, it's going to happen. And that just wasn't the case, right? We had this big jump up, right? Euphoria was at an all-time max. And since then, we have just been falling to the downside, and pretty quickly too, right? Historically, when you see these sharp moves up like this, like these really big sharp moves up, you're going to see a retracement down as well, right? So, and we saw exactly that. In a lot of ways, this is not a fair comparison, but this really big wick up kind of reminds me of the MicroStrategy chart, and we can actually just take a look at that for completeness. Yeah, this is the daily. It feels like in some ways, this was this really big wick up when MicroStrategy hit, 540-ish. So this is not a MicroStrategy video. This is a Solana video. But nonetheless, I thought it was an interesting comparison nonetheless. So Solana, it's been coming down. You can see too on this daily chart, it is just falling. We briefly hit, 156. And at the end of this video, we're going to talk about where I think Solana could go. But Alex Becker, he's been talking about this for a while, right? Billions are flowing into ETH as losses on Solana meme coins hit just dumpster levels, right? And he's talking about these memes, and in a lot of ways, this is kind of the pump fund garbage, right? A lot of folks are saying that pump fund is kind of the issue, or maybe one of the reasons why Solana's taking so much. And gosh, if you just look at this for a second, this looks like chaotic, right? It really feels chaotic. People are gambling on pump fund, right? I think I heard a stat, over 99% of people lose money playing in the pump fund casino, and it really does feel like it. So could this be the downturn of why Solana is really not doing too well? I mean, obviously nobody really knows, but it sure feels like it. And in some ways, maybe this is why the sentiment on ETH has changed, right? People are kind of just sick of people throwing away their money on these silly meme coins. This is a tweet from just this morning. Tons of money is being sent to Wintermute from Binance. And it's technically not just Binance. Other exchanges are doing this. But here's why this is important. Folks are sending their tokens to Wintermute. Again, it's not just Solana, but in this case, it's an exorbitant amount of Solana. And they're selling it on Wintermute. And then kind of the silly thing is Wintermute is then sending that money back to these exchanges. So in a lot of ways, this could be seen as market manipulation. And I bring this up to you because I think it's important that all of us, right, we're all playing in this crypto space. We need to be aware of what's going on. And guys, if you just look at the dollar amounts right here, 1.37 million, 1.25 million, a couple for roughly 100,000, 2.7 million, 1.6, 1.99, 3.83, significant amounts. And guys, these are just 4 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 4 hours ago. So lots of money is being sent to Wintermute, being sold, right? Solana is being sold. And so then you got to think, well, why is this happening? Do the exchanges know something that we don't know, right? Is the market over and they're trying to unload as fast as they can? Or are they trying to steal liquidity, right? Are they trying to flush leverage traders? It's really tough to know. And honestly, we're not going to know until it's too late, right? Things like this, it's kind of hindsight. So it really depends, like, how do you feel about this market? Do you think it's over? Personally, I don't think it's over. I have taken a little bit of money off the table, but I still think we're going to have a bullish Q1 and Q4, right? I do not think this time is different. I think we're just following a 4-year cycle. Bitcoin, on the other hand, it's actually doing pretty decent, right? It's sitting at 95. I think at one point we got up to 96. We flirted with 97 over the weekend. I suspect Bitcoin is going to react to how the market does this week. And if you actually look at the stocks, stocks are kind of inching up, right? Stocks are set for a 300-point rise based off last week's slide, right? Last week was kind of pretty tough on Friday for stocks. So hopefully we can get a nice bounce back in stocks because we know that Bitcoin is correlated with the stock market. This is probably one of my favorite charts. This is really important. This is the Sol Bitcoin chart, right? So here we were looking at the Solana US dollar chart, the Sol USD chart. Well, instead of comparing Solana to the US dollar, here we're comparing it to the Sol Bitcoin chart. And this really tells a story, right? If you just look, December 2023, right? End of December, all the way till now, we've just kind of been trading in this channel, it feels like. I know it's a little bit more nuanced than that, but it feels like we've kind of just been hanging out in this channel more or less. Well, we've broken that channel now, right? We're far below that. And I think it's good to look at cryptos against their Bitcoin pair because ultimately we want to preserve the Satoshi evaluation of our bags, right? And just a big nuke. The last time that Sol Bitcoin has been at this levels, guys, it's been December 2023, right? So almost a year and a half. This is the lowest that Sol Bitcoin's been in almost a year and a half. And if you look at the fear and greed index, this might kind of try to give you, in some ways, a false sense of security because the fear and greed index, this is really heavily weighted on Bitcoin, right? The fear and greed index is more so related on this chart. If they had a fear and greed index for altcoins, it would be much lower than 49, right? Altcoins have been nuked over the past few weeks. And if you're watching this channel, you know that I sold 90% of my Solana a week ago, right? So this is the thumbnail from a video that I did 6 days ago. And I said that, hey, I sold my Solana and I bought this. I transitioned from Solana to ADA and ETH. And obviously, ADA and ETH, they're not, right? The entire altcoin market's not doing well, but I'm glad that I moved over to those two because Solana's really taken a beat down. I put this Alex Becker kind of headshot in the corner, kind of just based off this tweet here where he was saying like, it was this tweet and another where he says he's buying ADA, ETH, AVAX, things like that. So was it lucky? Maybe. Was I onto something? Maybe, I don't know. It's tough to tell, right? So we do have some economic data coming out this week. This is Benjamin Cohen's Into the Cryptoverse website. There's a lot going on here. I like this tweet a little bit better. So this is the things that we have to look forward this week. And I'm going to make another video on this and go into way, way more detail. But I think the big things that we're really looking for is tomorrow. or excuse me, on Tuesdays, 2 days from now, on Wednesday, the 26th, NVIDIA has their earnings. And this is really important, in my opinion, because if we look at NVIDIA, the stories are even telling us that the entire stock market could be kind of resting to see what happens to NVIDIA. In some ways, NVIDIA has really been the, you know, the darling child, right, of the stock market. And if NVIDIA does well on earnings, hopefully it could give the stock market and through extension, the crypto market a well-needed boost, right? So that's on Wednesday. That's after market close. I'm obviously going to be following that. And, if you're looking for high quality info in a fast, relatable manner, that's why you guys subscribe to me, right? So that's my plug to subscribe to the channel. And then on Thursday, we have initial jobless claims. I follow this really, really closely, probably more closely than I should. I just find the information really data, right? Because it's this balance between jobless claims, unemployment rate. Does this give the Fed kind of the green light to reduce rates or to stop quantitative easing? It's all related. So I'll be watching that. And then on Friday, in my opinion, this is the big one. This is the PCE index. And this gives us a real gauge on how inflation's doing, right? And it's interesting because the expectation for inflation has increased, right? Now we're kind of expecting more inflation. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this ties together. But don't worry, subscribe to me. I'm going to break it down, make it digestible, hopefully get you guys some really good information in 10 minutes. So you don't have to, kind of find all this stuff on your own. So I'm curious, what do you guys think of Solana? Right? I'm curious. Do you think it's going to go, are we going to go back down to 120? Are we going to fall below 100? Or is this just all overblown and we're going to get back above 200 in no time? I read all the comments below, so let me know down in the comment section. If you got any value out of this at all, hit the like button, consider subscribing, and turn on notifications so you get more crypto content related straight to you. All right, guys, I'm going to the gym. It's early this morning, but I wanted to get this video out as fast as I can. Again, I really appreciate all your support, and I'll see you guys on the next one.